All right, here we are. Today's goal is to, last time we put the Formic Pro on, it was 2 weeks tomorrow, but I'm doing it today because it's the weekend and I have more time. So today's goal is just to get the Formic Pro off, make sure there's no shouldn't be any new larvae in this third box on 3 of the 5 because I put the queen excluders in last time. So that make sure there's no queen down. Make sure she's down the other boxes, which she should be. But and then yeah, get out. I won't do much more. All right, hey girls, they're chill. Handful of them on the inner cover, outer cover. All right, girls, why don't you head down? Tell everybody else I'm coming. Have been watching the last couple days and bringing in a decent amount of pollen in all the hives are, so that's good. Usually means still have a queen and the Formic Pro didn't kill them, but it's not a guarantee. Especially with the one hive that I got that had the queen cell like last time. So we'll see. Don't imagine there's many bees up here, to be honest. There's always some up here on top, but yeah. All right, I'm not going to look too much in this top box because that's not really today's goal, but let's glance real quick sideways and see. Yeah, they haven't done anything up here still, so no point in getting everything out. I will get the small hive beetle trap out just so I can not spill that oil on the bees, but other than that, move on to the next box. Whoa, come on. Man, I didn't expect them to be that stuck. Oh, there we go. Get some smoke into that because that did sound like a lot more bees. Well, I say that, but there's not a ton more bees. They're making, this is wild, they're making almost no noise, so it's always scary. It means really good things or really bad things. Very little in between. Probably blast the shit out of this trap already. Damn it. You have to pull the frame to get the trap out, which is wild. No, go easy. Yeah, we have to move the frame. Jesus. Come on. Wow. Well, I guess I could leave it, but I'm worried about if I turn that at all, it'll spill. So there we go. Just had to get that last little break point. All right, again, not a lot of action here. I do want to check this box real quick to make sure there's no new. Might be some larvae still up here, but now they're getting a little more hot at me. Just chill. All right, let's get over here where there might actually be. Thing I noticed last time or two is that they're not really. It's not really the center where all the brood is all the time. It's got a ton of honey in it. Looks like they're backfilling. It's the far. Yeah, they're definitely backfilling. That's fresh. They're backfilling towards the far that direction because that's where the sun hits first. So trying to keep the brood warm, I guess. They're putting the brood where it's warmest. Yeah, they're backfilling, but they're not backfilling with honey, not babies. So that gives me good feels that the queen is hopefully not up here. Let's check one or two more. We'll get out of here because, again, today's goal is to get the Formic Pro out of all of them and kind of be done. Yep, same thing there. Looks great. Backfilling with honey. Definitely gonna get some honey out of these girls because this is the third box, so I will be pulling this probably next inspection. So yeah, we're done there. Here's where I should get into more bees. That's heavy as shit. They really are backfilling that well. All right, queen excluder's on here. I may not even get into that box because I don't really need to. Because then, well, almost need to put the queen excluder on this box so they don't get into that box. Because all I really need to do is pull the Formic Pro. But I don't want to risk the queen snaking down. Should have covered that one up. Let's do this. Really don't want to risk the queen getting down there, so let's pop these gals off. Stick this here, and I'll put that box in this top so that I know, and I'll just empty that top back out once I do it. So that'll reduce the chances of me accidentally letting the queen in there. All right, there's the Formic Pro. They've chewed on a little bit, but not an insane amount. Still got a god-awful amount of bees in here. And man, they are chill today. Please stay that way. Yeah, that's wild. Crazy number of bees. They're humming, but it's a low-pitched sound. It's wild. They're just super chill. I have seen a lot of pollen coming in, so maybe they're just, maybe there's enough pollen and stuff out there that they don't need. Get off. I'm not about to touch this stuff, so anyway, maybe they're just fat and happy. Either that or it's the opposite. They're dying. So it's the way it feels with bees all the time. Often extremes in terms of how they're doing. All right, so again, I'm not going to try to do too much today because that's not the goal. The goal is to minimize the amount of stuff I do. I do look in this small hive beetle trap to see if it needs anything. Oh, looks good. So I'll put that right back where it was. Move out of my way. Stupid things. All right. We won't even get in there. We'll put this back on. I'm not going to mess with that trap because it's under the excluder. Again, either they're super happy or they're going to die. I don't know which one it is, but they are chill AF. So, all right, this back on, and this probably, I mean, it's nearly full, so I could probably pull that top box, but just in case, because that is fat with fucking honey. Whew. I'm only concerned with pulling that top box. So if I pull that top box and they're out of room, then I end up, you know, they go like, oh, we're out of room. We need a late season swarm or something stupid. Let's see how many of these they've got actually filled. They're not, actually, they're pulling all the way to here, all the way to the edges. So yeah, I'll leave that top box because they're obviously putting a shit ton of stuff in here, whether they need it or not. I mean, they won't need it because I'm going to pull in this box completely at some point, but I'm trying to center these frames up. All right. On to the next. Again, this one I'm not going to do anything with because probably not necessary, but it's also not a huge detriment. I am going to scrape some of that propolis off of these top frames. Nothing else, just to hopefully reduce the chances of them trying to stick that damn inner cover to it. Again, feed it back to them. There you go, girls. Do with that whatever you want. Preferably not what you just did. All right, let's scrape this off too. They had 2 frames. I don't know if those 2 frames are sticking up a little bit, but they really propolized the shit out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and, while I'm here and they seem reasonably chill, famous last words, go ahead and try to scrape some of this off so that it can be less likely to do that again. Oh. Could gather this up and do something else with it, but I'm not worried about all that. Shit, I forgot to put that trap in the 3rd box, didn't I? Yeah, I'll pop that back open. Yeah, at this point, I'll just give it back to them, and they need it more than I do. I can just stick it somewhere else, hopefully, or back in the exact same spot. But there you go. All right, let me move this one box. Let's see if I can do this without. There we go. I was going to say I didn't scrunch any bees, but I'm pretty sure I got at least one I heard a crunch. All right, now this trap back in here. Small hive beetles have not been, they've been decently bad, but not, the only one that really got overrun was the small swarm. And that's why I ended up combining it with the other ones. All right, so that back on. That back on. Yeah, all done there. So let's move everything over. I'm not even going to turn the camera off. I'm just going to do the old. I'm not doing the up above camera today, mainly because I knew I was going to be burning and turning in between. And that's a cool angle, but grabbing the tripod and getting the angle right, yada, 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 is a little more of a pain in the ass with that one than it is the little spring clip. I'm eventually going to figure out a better system with that, but today's not the day. I sometimes gather at this top vent, so let's give it a little reason not to. This always pops. And today's no exception. Shit ton of bees up in there. Look at that. Inner cover's full. Outer cover, rather. Inner cover's full too, so. They are super chill for considering I popped that. Man, they propolized the shit out of this. Including the coins, which is funny. Which means this is probably going to be a pain in the ass. No, this is fine. It's just that top. And that they've... Sorry, girls. Time to get a little bit of... This one feels like it's got more bees up in this top box than the other one did. The Nicky swarm, the tree swarm, was my most populated one, but I feel like this one, which was the split that didn't work and then I requeened, has definitely come on really strong late in the season. So that queen from Honey and Bee Co. in Moorhead has done well. Actually, technically, it was from Roseman in Georgia, but Honey and Bee Co. is where I bought it. So again, not doing really anything up here. I should have checked the frame up on that one, but there was none on the other one, so it's highly unlikely. But let me go ahead and just pull a frame in the middle / over there to check and see, make sure there's no brood up here. I don't know that they've ever put brood up this high in this box, but double check. So there's not going to be anything on that. That frame is almost undrawn. This one, oof. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. I'm back feeling like crazy, so there's still plenty of pollen out there. Gorgeous. All right, so if there's not anything there, I should have between, the 3 hives, I should definitely have a full super, if not more, worth of honey this year. So that's pretty awesome considering basically I had no super frames drawn out this year. So that's Excellent. All right. All right. Move it on to the next box. That was easy. Wow, they're not even getting, again, famous last words, but they're not even getting even that riled up by the smoke, which is unusual. Same thing here. Tons of, I mean, this is completely drawn out. There's a shit ton of bees in there. Gonna be a little worried. Hopefully there's no brood there, but we'll see. This is maybe the box that they had drawn out the Roubaix. Stop. This is maybe the box that they had drawn out the queen cell last time, but I popped that. In hindsight, I wish I'd listened to, well, I guess it wasn't out by then. I was listening today to Fred Dunn's thing. He's like, oh, if you see a supersedure cell, find your queen, put her in a resource thing and yada yada, because make sure that if they do swarm or they do are replacing her, it's probably too late and you need to have a backup. I didn't do any of those things because I'm still green at this, but let's see, that still looks like honey. Let's put that out here. This next frame's pretty loaded up. It's got brood, but there's no, doesn't look like you're backfilling with eggs or anything, so that's good. Stupid small hot beetle, I see you. If I can find you again. I can't find you again. Yeah, I mean, there's always was some brood on here, but it's coming out, so they'll, and I don't see any eggs. Same on the next frame. There's old brood, but no eggs. Pop up. Oh, sorry, girls. That was a little more violent than I intended it to be. Yeah, that's empty because there was a ton of brood and such on there. And they may have started moving some stuff downward. Yeah. No brood there. No eggs. Not a ton of honey either, which is kind of weird. But here's where the queen cup maybe was last time. Or was it? Yeah. Some of the bitches. I got a couple new queen cups. They haven't charged them yet. I don't see anything in there, but it's probably fine. But in the interest of, I just want to make sure. Can't have them swarming this late in the year, especially when I'm about to go on vacation. Damn it, another one on the other side. That's wild. They took all that wax. That's so cool. I got to give a picture of that. They took all that wax in that location. All right, girls, I'm trying to squish you. And use that wax to make a queen cell, which means there's a empty spot there, which is wild. There's an empty spot of wax because they've used it to make a queen cup, which is cool to see. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. All right, so again, no, other than this couple stupid queen cells on one far frame, everything's good here. They're starting to back fill it some, but I see it over coal where I had it, but it was there. Yep, that's because the frames are stuck. It's got to be there. Let me pull this one frame. Doing more in this box than I intended, but this is also where there were queen cups. Damn it, more of them. Makes me nervous about that queen then, because that's 5 queen cups. Now there's supersedure, but still that means they're not 100% confident in her. This has been my booming hive, so it's always weird that way. I wonder if that was a queen cup before, because there's a spot of missing. Yeah, well, assuming they haven't swarmed and aren't going to swarm, which is probably shouldn't assume, I guess, but still looks like there's a lot of bees in here, but we should be okay. But definitely a little, still not 100% on the comfy list on that one because of that, so I have to do the same thing I did with the top on the other one for this one. All right, poppity, smokety bokety. Yeah. I made them make a little noise, but they're still fine. Ugh. All right, so we'll do the same thing on this one as I did before. Just pull this box I mean, it's full of bees, full of bees. I don't see a ton of drones stuck here either. This does have a top exit, so maybe they've gotten out. So, yeah, so maybe they've been okay. Let's see. I don't want to get those bees everywhere, but you gals stay on that if you would. That'd be great. You gals, you can stay there too. So, but you're going to be confused because you're going to get a lot of visitors from above here in a second. So, actually, go ahead and pop them out because I don't want that many bees there. That's always maddening to me. Just crazy. Just poof, they just fall like water almost. All right. Onward. Upward. I got propolis all over my tool here. Propolis? It is propolis. Whatever. Here we'll get a little smoky smoke, even though I'm not sure I even really need it today. They're super chill. All right, let's get rid of this. Check the traps maybe, and then get out of here. My probe. Pro and a couple squash bees. One bee in my face. It's really upset with me. Let's check these real quick. Cruddy as shit, but top's still open, so beetles will still die there. That's a piece of the stupid cloth. Again, a ton of bees. Ton of bees. So I'm not going to bother getting any farther though, just because, again, the goal today is to get the Formic Pro out and do as little damage otherwise as I possibly can. Probably should just be checking pattern, but she might be, stupid small hive beetle die. She might be a little stunted, but I'm not going to know that just glancing from 2 weeks. All right. Oh, shit. I didn't think about that. Duh. The bees that were on there are now there. And that's twice they've got popped, so they're probably super happy. All right. These back on. Rebay, stop. All right. Trap back in. Get out of the way. Literally move anywhere else. Thank you. Jesus. The bees don't always do what you want them to do. I pretty much never do what you want them to do. But sometimes they do the exact opposite of what you want them to do. Ooh, did I put this in? Yeah, that's the right direction. Yeah. Make a little bit more noise now. They definitely didn't like all that popping. This is on me. So, sorry, gals. All right, that's back in. And the cover facing backwards back on. There's a shit ton of bees on it still, so be careful to grab them. Another cover back on. Move that bee. I don't go. Oh, as they're saying, move that bee. I'm not going to squash, but I've already squashed it. So. All right, a couple bees on top. Rock on. All right, we'll go ahead and move the camera again. Here. Stop it there so I can roll it. Yes. All right. So in the third hive, which is the package, I fed them a little last week, just because they still probably need it. Damn it! Some sort of spider web, hopefully not a wax moth or something. Anyway, I fed them some last week. Why are there? Oh, those are ants. Those are the biggest damn ants I've ever seen in my life. Holy hell. A couple black ants here that I thought that were bees. That's good lord. Clean off this one. Thinking about it before I start pissing them off. They propolis little vents, and I mean, I guess it doesn't affect their ability to get the stuff, but it's still brings me might affect their ability. So scrape it off. Got some small hive beetles up here, but they've all drowned in the sugar, so that's good. All right. Get out of my face. All right. So same goal here. Actually less. I mean, Formic Pro, that's about it. There shouldn't be a ton of bees up here because they're new and been dragging out. The first 2 boxes, they haven't done a ton in this 3rd box, which is a deep because that's what I threw on at the time because that's all I had. I've got supers now, but it's not like they're going to put anything in them. Could feed and try to get them to draw out the supers for next year, but this late in the year, I don't think they're going to, frankly, do that for me. All right, so we'll pop a frame or 2 here just to give it a glance, just to see if they've done anything, but I'm going to guess that's a no. Small hive beetle or 2, don't know if they're old or not. So, I get middle. Man. I just purpled the shit out of this. Of course, I haven't been in this box a ton, so it's easy for them to purple the shit out of it. Yeah, they've done dick all with this box. Put wax on it. I took some wax I'd rendered and put on here, but they just, I don't know. Thought they might take some of that, feeding them and put it up here, but they just haven't. So they're taking it to where they need it down below and actually using it, which is fine. Plastic. Queen excluder here. I've got a mix of plastic and metal. There's pros and cons of each, but I don't think it matters enough to a person like me to really even worry about it. There's people who don't even use them. There's people that swear by them. It's the whole beekeeping thing. Some people, everybody's an expert at something. Some people are an expert at everything, which is always wild. All right, again, we're not even going to get into this one much because there's no point. I do need that top so that I can get, it's got grossness in it. Wipe that out. Hopefully I have a rag in here. Bunch of sugar syrup got into my inner cover. Pour that somewhere where the ants can get it. All right. That over here. This box on there. Pull the Formic Pro out. Be done. Drop my tool. Feels like I got some frames trying to stick. Yeah, definitely got some frames trying to stick. So, let's get a little smoke just to be safe. They love that. Again, the queen could definitely be up here, so we gotta be careful here. Oh, that's heavy as shit. Whew, that's probably full of honey. If it's that heavy, which is good. That's what it should be. That probably means they're taking all that feed I give them and turning it into what will be somewhat winter stores, probably this late. Oh, by the way, today is September 7th, and I started around 1:45 or 2, just because I put that in my notes. All right, look out. Again, check this trap real quick. Make sure it's still got shit in it. Yeah, they could probably use a little bit of oil, but they're not going anywhere when they get there. Oh, that's awesome. See one carrying pollen down in. They've been bringing a ton of pollen in. Mostly yellow, but I've seen a couple of sprinkles of red. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, man, that's heavy. Did I get everything? Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that's heavy. That's got to be mostly honey. But that's their honey because everything else above this is mine, which there is none right now on this hive, which is fine. So, hey, girls. There you go. So, yeah. all is well on that front. Let's see. Well, it doesn't matter. They haven't pulled shit on this one yet. It doesn't matter which way I put this back in, because minus the leaves, I probably don't need those. That queen excluder is slightly larger than the boxes, which is kind of weird. Most of them are closer to the actual size. Of course, it could be that these came with some different boxes than these. I bet they fixed those well. That's the frustrating thing about beekeeping sometimes is there's universal, everything's supposed to be whatever by whatever by whatever. They're not. Everybody's a little off. Everybody's cuts are hair off than everybody else's. So, which means equipment doesn't always fit real well together. Actually, while I've got this out, let me wipe it down. Put some more feed in there later, but it is full of ants and small hive beetles mostly, looks like. Dead small hive beetles, dead ants, but still all those things. And now I have to get new gloves before the next hive. That's okay. Alright. Top back on. We're done there. Alright, just hands are now sticky as shit after cleaning that out, so this the camera running because I don't feel like turning it off. I should have plenty of battery. Actually, I'll use this time to reposition it. Oh, where are we at? There we are. So this is our OG hive from last year. It was the 8 frame that I tried to split. Didn't work. I think a combination of timing and the Formic Pro I put on botched that. But 2 new queens from Honeybee & Co. via Rosman later. I got 2 good hives. And 1 barking ass dog. So. Alright. Missing a tool. What do I do with it? There it is. Everybody. Okay. These guys have been okay. Not great, but okay. Probably the 3rd of the 5 hives in terms of strength. But yeah. I think because they were a little under bead, and then the split didn't work. They really were behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Did this thing I didn't mean to do. Yeah. Just cover up my stupid outer cover. Alright, girls, we're going to set you there. Don't go everywhere. Yeah. But they seem to come on. Maybe not strong, but still fine. So nothing much in this top box. The only reason I put it on there is just because the box below was full and I didn't want to encourage them to do something they shouldn't, like swarm. But there's hardly any bees in here, and I mean they've drawn out a couple of things here and there. I can see down in there, but not much of anything. So no point getting in there. This one I'll double check just to make sure I don't have any eggs and larvae and such up here, because I shouldn't. Since it's been 2 weeks since I put the excluder on, so let's take a peek at some inner frames here. Yeah, backfilling with honey. Still got a couple brood cells there to pop, but yeah, nothing showing me that the queen's up here, which is what I want to see. Yeah, just more. Actually, I don't know if they're even, those cells may be toast. Hard to tell. But I can tell looking that obviously it's been brewed up here, the same pattern, and then it's all pumped and they're back filling honey. So, yeah. Queen is not likely up here. Woo! Alright. That's weird. There's no trap in here. Oh, there was 2 in the top. I forgot to put one in here last time and just stuck 2 in the top. Forgot that. All right, tighten those up. Okay, excluder. So this is my little tiered housing. The 8 to 10 transition. Okay. Getting the tool in between that junction is somewhat of a pain in the ass, but not a big one. Get a little smoke. All right, girls. All right. Yeah. Again, don't see when I did this before, not this year, but a couple years ago, and then when I pulled the queen excluder off, there were a ton of drones stuck. Well, there's one. I say there's not been, I haven't seen any, just saw one. Well, there's a couple stuck, but not as many, which is good because this time of year you wouldn't expect a ton anyway, because drone time is almost over. All right. Get it here. Oh, gotta put the top back on over here so that I don't let my queen go. Now we got some frames coming with us, as it feels like. Something coming with us that I don't really like. Let's see if we can peekaboo that and figure out what it is. Oh, it's just the formic pro paper. Okay. All right. Let's. Oof. All right. Set that there. This paper off. I'm not worried about the paper that's stuck to the bottom of there, but yeah, good looking bees. Every frame except for a couple is full of bees. Again, they're mostly full. These frames over. It's just funny because obviously they're focusing the hive because of my apiary is in a corner of the yard where it's shaded most of the day because that's what I have. But it also means the side that sees the least amount of sun also sees the least amount of bees because they want the sun. So yeah, let's check this real quick. Just want to make sure I got, yep, got goop. All right, we'll get out of here. Ton of bees. That's moderately heavy, so they're definitely honey in there, but there might be some brood in there as well because it wasn't crazy heavy. I'm surprised. Well, maybe they just haven't started backfilling, that they haven't put some of the honey that was there in the third box down in there, but probably will eventually. All right. Is there a trap in that one? And do I risk it for the biscuit to get one in there? What was that noise? All right. See if I can sneak one in there. Just to be safe. Okay. You got me. No, you didn't get me, but you're a protector. I got you. Let's see. Queen. Nope. No queen there. Just one more because. All right. Mama is down. Well, I'm just going to leave you there. You can find your way back in. Down, rather, when I'm done. All right. So. This one back on. Yeah, this is heavier. This is way heavier than the one below, so I may have to do a little balancing with. I'm an idiot. Do some balancing. Got the tiered thing with the honey towards the end of the year when I close them down, just to make sure if they've got enough in that box. I mean, I'll still feed them all candy boards, etc., but there's no point in not making sure they have plenty. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in it for the honey. I'm not really even for the honey. I'm in it for the bees. All right. Yeah, they're starting to get a little hot, so it's probably time for me to get out of here. Maybe not even hot, just A little agitated. Yeah, they're definitely getting a little agitated. All right, so trap in there. This is the one that came out, but that would work. It's slimy and gross, but open. All right, in a cover. Leaves all over it. All right, girls. I'm trying to do this without killing y'all. Oop. And then there's these bees that were in the next to bottom box that are now on the top cover that are probably going, where the hell is mama? Just double, triple check and make sure mama ain't here. That would suck. All right. Get that spider web out of there. Slash, whatever those little bugs are called. Look like dinosaurs. All right, so that's on. We're done. On to the last one. All right, last hive, same process. This one is the combined swarm. Oh, it's a moth of some variety. You've got to die. Hopefully you've not been in here. This is the one that I'm not 100% confident is going to make it through the winter, but we're going to keep on keeping on. There's no point in doing a combine or a whatever, because it's still got a queen. I've seen her. She was there last week. But I'm not sure how strong she is, because she seems to have struggled. Man, stop probalizing where the food comes out, you jerks. Let's see. Those are still open. Let's start the camera. Yeah, they're red. All right. I meant to bring a pollen patty for this. I can do that anytime because I don't have to obviously get in to get that. I'll just throw a coin somewhere. Peanuts galore out here. Somewhere I'll find in 1,000 years. All right. So here, one thing I'm going to do is, I was worried the first couple of days I left it wide open. They really propose the shit out of it. I mean, if the feeder there is going to do me any good. Well, I got to get the. Well, before I do this, before I get into there. But I left the entrance wide open because it's what it says you're supposed to do with formic. But I was worried about them being so small and robbing season and whatever that after like 3 or 4 days, I just stuck the entrance kind of back in, blocking most of the way so that the 4-inch entrance or so is still there, and then the inch or 2 entrances there as well, but going vertical, so just to give them least amount of room to I could without popping the box back open. But today I will flop it around and put it back to the 4, maybe even the 2. It's supposed to be hot this week though, so maybe I'll put it to the 4. It'll definitely go to the 2 before the winter, but we'll just do the 4 today. All right, wipe that off now that I've got my tool all gross. Not thinking about that. Here's my rag. Definitely got to clean my tools today. They are caked up with everything. All right, let's get in here. And this is the one that is. I had to combine the 2 caught swarms into one, but they've still struggled. Probably waited too long for the combine, and then they were weaker than they would have been and could have been, yada, yada, yada. But that's why beekeeping is harder than some other things. There's a bunch of dead bees where the Formic Pro was, and they just got smashed between it, looks like. Just making sure my queen's not there somewhere. But yeah, there's a handful of bees that were here that either I smashed them when I put everything back together, or they just crawled up there and the Formic Pro toasted them. Either way, probably only needed 1 strip given the small number of bees I had in here, but again, I'm not sure that's going to be what kills them. I think it's just what kills them is going to be they're not going to have enough warmth and bees going into the winter, but could try to take some other bees and bring them over here, but I'm worried about hurting a... Well, you know what? There's no reason for me to do it. What am I going to do? They do not want me here, clearly. Of course, I didn't even put any smoke in there, did I? I'm just going to get as much of this formic out as I can. Because there's some of it stuck down in between the frames, probably where the Burns feeder smashed it down. Alright, shits. Okay, get me some smoke. Getting a little angry. A lot angry. Just one or two guard bees, but it's a little annoying. Get off my microphone. Actually, that's be some really cool audio. Her landing directly on the microphone. Alright. Scrape the rest of this off. Some propolis coming with it, but I'm trying to get all that formic I can. They do not like it. I understand why. It smells awful. Get out of there. Alright, so yeah, we're good. Do want to scrape this handful of dead bees. There's no point stuffing them back in the hive. Yeah, shit. I'm gonna smoke over here, because yeah, could have done this differently. I'll get them off the wire and they'll take them out of the hive for me. We couldn't get them out of the hive just because they were coated in shit. This is definitely the part where I get stung if it happens today. Grabbing single dead bees and throwing them out of the hive. While the live bees are really pissed about that. Let's see if I can get some of this propolis and shit off of here too. Some of that's formic pro too. I should have thought not put that where the feeder was, because that's stuck to that, which means it'll be in the hive for a lot longer. Anywho, so yeah, it's as clean as I'm gonna get it. They'll probably fix anything other than that. This is perfect. All right, so put that trap back on. That's the one that was full of beetles from the old trap that was struggling. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna stick my tool down into that just to see. Make sure that's okay. It's just wax. So worried. That frame's the one where the little small hive beetle got into last time. So, all right, let's get out of here. They're not happy. There's no reason for me to be there any longer. I'll put the feeder back on. Give them some more patty at some point. All right, get out of here. Can't be there. Shit, I forgot to open this up. All right, so go with the four hole. So get in there, man. Fucker's stuck. There we go. Slurp. Slide that in there. Come on. They love me now. Get out of the way. There we go. All right. All done. Let's back on here and get feeders back on. Hopefully, oh shit. Hopefully they can still. I'll try to scrape some of this off. Just that they propolize every little effing thing. When they do it to the feeders, you know when they'll work. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's working-ish. Not perfect, but all right. Let's see if the other one. I think this one's working better anyway. Yeah. All right, gals, you're done, and I'm done. We're done. And the dog's not done. That was a stink beetle, and there it is. Get out, jerk. Okay. All right. Donezo. That is actually, yeah, take those off. Pick up all this oxy or formic pro, but I'll do that with another pair of gloves. All right, done.